And good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here tonight on King Jordan Radio. Today's date is Thursday night, it is May the 5th. Tonight here on the show, we're going to get into the latest on the singer's death, Prince. We'll talk about the change of venue in the hot car death trial with Justin Ross Harris. We'll talk about the upcoming Bill Cosby show. There is another documentary coming out, O.J. Simpson, that will be released next month on the ESPN network. First of all, we're joined with two special guests tonight, two icons in the world of defense attorneys. Let's introduce first, she represented the family of Susan Cox Powell and the family of Amanda Knox. She was a host on Court TV. She's based out of Seattle. She's one of the top 10 attorneys in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ann Bremner. Good evening, Ann, and welcome back to King Jordan Radio.
Good evening.
How are you?
Great, thanks. I'm honored to be here. I wasn't a host on Court TV, and I was on with Mickey, who is my complete idol. So anyway, thrilled to be on.
Absolutely. Without further ado, he covered for CBS television, covered all the major trials throughout the years. He covered the Iron Sheik, the former WWE World Champion. He acquitted him. He's famous for being on Court TV as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the legendary Mickey Sherman. Good evening, Mickey, and welcome back to King Jordan Radio on iTunes. How are you?
Good to be here.
Okay, and of course, Mickey, your book is called Why Do We...
the Da Vinci Code.
How can you defend those people?
How can we defend these people?
Exactly. Another book is coming out soon.
Oh, good.
And
great.
Yes, another book is coming out soon, but for the interim, I know a lot of people have sent me messages that they already have it. But for those that aren't honored enough to have read the book, how could they obtain the book?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the regular places. And it's been optioned for a TV series, so that may happen sometime in the not-too-distant future as well. But that'll be kind of cool.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
And I don't want to say who's doing it, but the Academy Award winner is putting it together. So it's
wow.
It's got good legs.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Okay, let's get into the singer Prince. Let's hear this quick soundbite, and we'll talk on the other side.
A report released on Wednesday revealed that Prince was set to meet with a California doctor to help cure him of an addiction to painkillers shortly before he passed. The Cornfield family's attorney William Mousy told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that on April 20th, just a day before Prince was found dead, the musician's representatives called Dr. Howard Cornfield to receive emergency help. Dr. Cornfield could not come immediately, but a meeting was set to take place the next day.
And Bremner, what do you make of this whole thing, very early exit in life of the icon Prince? Your thoughts?
Well, you just harken back, of course, to other cases that are this tragic. And I found it interesting. Michael Jackson, Prince, and yours truly were all born in 1958. And
really?
and I look at this, I'm thinking it's like deja vu all over again, like Elvis, other Anna Nicole Smith. I mean, just, you think of Prince as somebody that was otherworldly and I think, kind of untouchable. And it's sad he apparently had this addiction. And it's also sad about the timing, of the missed intervention.
And Mickey, there are rumblings now about the drug Percocet that has been involved. That people say he was hooked. What's your take on this, if true?
But that's a common drug to take.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Dr. Conrad Murray thing where he was the Profil or whatever that's called.
True.
Where it's put out. Percocet is basically 2 steps above or below Xanax, if I'm not mistaken. To me, it just sounds again like the doctors and the lawyers killed him. I mean, why did he have to not be taken to a hospital when he overdosed or whatever on the plane? Why did they were just so concerned about his image. They should have thrown that caution to the wind and brought him to the hospitals immediately instead of waiting to see what the handlers thought he should be doing.
And can you see a scenario where doctors could be brought up on charges if they find that he was being overdosed, if you will?
I don't see it. This is not on the level of Conrad Murray. These were standard drug overdoses, and I just don't think it was egregious. I think it was bad decision making, maybe malpractice, but not criminal conduct.
Yeah, I agree with Mickey, absolutely. And we had that one case of the California doctor, the woman doctor, that was overdosing patients and killing a number of them that ended in a successful prosecution. But that's not this case. And it's not propofol that should be in a basically a medical theater or an operating theater like Conrad Murray and Michael Jackson. And it is common. And it sounds like Mickey said, there should have been some more level heads that prevailed, with Prince, and got him in a hospital, keep him in a hospital, make sure that he survived.
Yeah, you make a very good point. The thing with Dr. Conrad Murray, he did things illegally, like take the equipment that was supposed to be only done in a hospital, and had Michael Jackson's wife in his own apartment, and as we pointed out, gave him such stuff as propofol and whatever he wanted for that big, I forgot the number he was getting a month, but it was pretty good to be Dr. Feelgood. Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever got it, but that was his contract, which makes you think, is he doing something really risky? I think he was.
Right. Okay, we have more news on Bill Cosby as he is trying to get this case stopped. Let's start with this clip and we'll talk on the other side.
Bill Cosby is trying again to delay hearings in his criminal case while he fights to get the sex assault charges in Pennsylvania dismissed. According to the Associated Press, the actor and comedian has asked the state Supreme Court to review last week's decision by a mid-level appeals court that upheld the case. Cosby is charged with indecent sexual assault over a 2004 encounter with a former Temple University employee. His preliminary hearing is set for May 24th. District Attorney Kevin Steele has said it's time for the case to move forward.
Can I tell you my Bill Cosby story?
Yeah, let's hear from you, Mickey Sherman. You indeed did meet with the comedian in your past. Tell us about Bill Cosby and tell us about these charges, in your opinion.
Well, let me give you a little bit of background. August 5th, 1963. That's 1963, August 5th. I'm a junior in high school, Greenwich High School. Hard to believe I'm that old.
Totally.
And my first cousin is Alan Sherman, the comedian. Hello, Mother, hello, Father. He was my first cousin, and he used to guest host the Johnny Carson show, actually with the Tonight Show in New York when it was hosted by Jack Parr. And so that's like 40 minutes from Greenwich. So I used to go down there and spend the week with Alan. I'd meet all the guests. It was kind of an entree into what would later become Court TV for me. But the bottom line is I'm with Alan one night, and he says he met this colored kid, because that's what you said back then, colored kid at the bitter end last night, and he was really funny. He's never been on TV, and he's very nervous. Come and meet him, and he brings me into a small room, and I'm introduced to Bill Cosby. His first appearance ever on TV.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then Alan wound up producing his first 3 albums. And then over the years, I would run into Bill Cosby, like at Elaine's or the other trendy night spots in New York or wherever, and he always reminded me of that meeting. See, so my perspective was, totally devoid of the horrors that he obviously committed, but it was just fascinating that I kind of knew this guy all these years, and he was an icon.
I was going to ask you your impressions of him, Mickey. I mean, he's a nice guy, great talent.
He was always great to me. incredible talent. If you really want to laugh, get the first 2 or 3 albums. It was called Noah, called Right, and I think my cousin's name for the person was Bill Cosby is a very funny fellow. It's really, really good stuff. It's clean stuff, and there's just no inkling that there's this dark side brooding in him that would later come out over the course of 50 years, or God knows how long. But I knew the guy. It was just fascinating.
That's an incredible story.
And watching the NBC show, The Cosby Show, all through the years as I was growing up, you would never, ever think he was capable of doing that to that one woman. And now there are allegedly 57 women. And there's going to be... Mickey, what do you think of the charge of this one person?
They're all lying.
That they're doing...
All the women are lying, of course. They got together at a large meeting hall and made up these stories. But you know what's amazing is you still have people who actually say that stuff to you. They really do. They say it's the same people who say that the blood in OJ was between 1 and 78 billion to 1. And I used to say, well, that leaves a little wiggle room. And people would actually agree with me. They would actually agree with me. It was amazing. But Cosby,
it's definitely hard to see somebody that you grew up on the other side of the fence, and right? A lot of people don't want to believe these charges.
Yeah,
well, I mean, before the Cosby Show, he was in I Spy, which was like an action show.
Right.
One of the first buddy shows, especially with a black buddy and a white buddy, Robert Culp, if I'm not mistaken. So he broke through a lot of walls.
He did, and he was. I think I've told you before. I do represent one of his victims up here in Seattle. She hasn't filed a case as yet, and there's no criminal case, of course. But so I've seen a completely opposite side, through the eyes of a woman that's been horribly traumatized, by what happened to her, as have all these women. And
is that being questioned? Is that being raped or being questioned by Gloria Allred?
You're hilarious. Always, Mickey. Well, she hasn't got. Someone in her office came up, but no, she's not up here yet. But I think part of a lot of the victims is like they feel like they should have said something sooner. They feel like other women were victimized because they didn't. You see, they have all these other kind of concomitant issues too.
That happened on a very small scale